Oh my goodness, what a topic this week. It's so rich and so full that we could spend lifetimes, and we do spend lifetimes studying this because it's one of the deepest curricula of life. This like attracts like, this attraction rather than effort or promotion concept. And for the 4 days that we'll talk about it, we'll just look at it from varying angles. And I'm as interested in hearing new ways of talking about it and explaining it and realizing it and understanding it myself, because no matter how much you learn in this realm, there's always an endless amount more. And the benefit and the reward of learning it and then putting it into practice it's invaluable. It really is, because what it involves is the ability to attract, draw in to your life and to your experience the things that are of the greatest value, the most enriching, the most meaningful, the most purposeful, the things that make life worth living. That's worth it, isn't it? So there's a great spiritual teacher that I've always admired, and he has a phrase. It's called by right of consciousness. By right, R-I-G-H-T, by right of consciousness. And he has a whole pamphlet, a whole book on it. And what it basically means is we have what we have in our lives, and we don't have what we don't have in our lives by right of consciousness. And it's just one more angle or explanation that whatever the state of our mind is what is drawn into our lives. Now, we've heard it stated in some modern language that like attracts like, or things of a similar amplitude or energetic frequency are drawn together. And of course, this has scientific verification and validation and vindication as well. It's simply put, vibrations of a similar amplitude or frequency are drawn together. They attract one another. And this is the direction that we're moving in, an existence that's more vibrational than material. Now, most of us start off with a much more materialistic mindset. And in a material world, there are things, and there are things out there in a three-dimensional space, and we see them and we like them, and we say to ourselves, I like that. I'm going to go get that. I'm going to go grab it and pull it into my life. Similarly, of course, we see what we don't want and we try to push that away. And this is what a material person does. And it's a valid way to live life. Most people on the planet live this way. And the problem is that it can involve a great deal of effort and struggle and trial and tribulation. And it takes a huge amount of effort to make this happen. And then once you do acquire something that is of value to you, then you must hang on to it. Now, the more you realize that you're a vibrational and energetic or a conscious being, the more you realize that you have what I like to call personal gravity. By personal gravity, I mean you draw into your life the nature of your own consciousness. Peaceful people draw in peaceful circumstances. Successful people draw in more successful consequences. Charming people draw in charming consequences. Anxious people draw in anxious repercussions and implications. Fearful people draw in fearful things. Now, imagine the nature of your consciousness is fearful and anxious, and yet you want your life to be filled with serenity and peace. Imagine the struggle involved. Imagine the effort of trying to pull into your life something that is not a match to your current conscious condition. Now, is this beginning to sink in? Think of all the anxious people who are struggling to be serene, but they haven't created a serene state of consciousness. Think of all the people struggling to be healthy inside of their body, but they've never had a moment of peace their whole life. Think of the people struggling and wanting intimacy in their life to pull it in, but they've never had an intimate experience or relationship within their own consciousness. This list could be expanded ad infinitum, could it not? So we see the futility and the effort that's involved in trying to pull or draw or drag into our lives the things that are of greatest value without a state of consciousness that corresponds to it. Thus, the phrase, by right of consciousness, we have the things that we have, and we don't have the things that we don't have. What happens when we realize this and we make this shift in our life? Well, we realize that our own current state of consciousness is our own personal gravity that's causing all the planets to orbit us. If we're orbited by fear and worry and uncertainty and chaos, if these are the planets that are orbiting us, this is our gravity. And we can try to push them away or try to draw in the things that we like. But oh my God, the effort. So the differential in this is the differential between being able to think about something at a level of consciousness and have it literally be drawn into your life. Now, some would say, well, that's magical thinking, or that's airy-fairy. It is not. It is the height of the deepest scientific truth that things of a similar vibrational nature simply cohere and coordinate and accord together. And we all know this is true, that wherever you go, there you are. And so begin to ponder all this week of where there is effort and struggle in your life, and ask yourself, am I trying to draw something in or push something away that runs counter to my current state of consciousness? Am I seeking health when I don't have peace on the inside? Am I seeking serenity when I don't have any calm on the inside of my consciousness? When we make this fundamental shift in consciousness and begin to purify our own internal world, everything we could ever want or dream of, our heart's desire, literally is pulled in toward us. It's drawn in. We are attractive, not necessarily personally attractive, although it's not mutually exclusive. It simply means you are an attractor magnet of the state of consciousness that you're harboring. Things can get so much easier. Does it mean we don't work and play and fun and effort and active? Of course not. It just means that all of our action comes from a place of attraction. And boy, does that change the whole game. And I'm in the game with you guys, and I look forward to studying it all week long. All right, we'll attract tomorrow. See you.